What's up guys, my name is Brandon, welcome to Quick Flicks. Today, we're diving into Terrifier, a brutal slasher film directed by Damien Leone, released in 2016. Like I said, Terrifier is an incredibly brutal and gory slasher film that prioritizes shock value over story depth, following a clown named Art who slices and dices just about anybody who gets in his way. So just a forewarning, there's going to be quite the censoring here. Now this isn't Art the Clown's first rodeo. He originally appeared in All Hallows Eve back in 2013. Played by David Howard Thornton, Art quickly became one of the most terrifying and relentless villains in modern horror. Despite being filmed on a shoestring budget of just $35,000, Terrifier manages to deliver nasty gore, brutal kills, and old school slasher vibes. With the third installment of the Terrifier series coming out in just a few weeks, I thought now would be a good time to dive in. So let's stop clowning around and hop into the movie. Opens up with a newscast featuring an interview with a severely disfigured survivor of Art the Clown's previous attack. Newscaster Monica Brown introduces her as the only person to make it out alive from the Miles County massacre. The woman explains that she was left permanently scarred after Art's attack, but despite his body disappearing from the morgue, she believes he's dead. She's quickly proven wrong when Art smashes the TV and starts getting into his infamous clown costume. After the newscast, we see Monica on the phone, making cruel remarks about the woman's appearance. But spooky noises start creeping in, and as she goes to investigate, she's jump scared by the same survivor. Things take a brutal turn when Monica gets her eyes gouged out, mirroring the disfigured woman's injuries. The woman then lets out a Deadite-esque laugh. And we roll to the title card. Halloween night is here, and two women, Tara and Dawn, stroll down a dark road in Miles County, New York, inebriated after a Halloween party and ready to get home, though they make the right decision not to drink and drive. Oh hey, maybe they can catch a ride with this fine fellow wielding a trash bag. While Dawn finds the spooky clown funny, Tara says F that, she knows something is off. They decide to head to a local pizza shop to sober up. While waiting for their food, a familiar face walks in and gives a cold stare at the ladies. But don't worry, he's actually nice, right? Aw, that's a nice Artie the Clown. Tara, being all spooked out, Dawn goes to prove that he's no threat and sits on his lap, taking a selfie with him. Art not looking too happy, even ignoring the pizza shop owner trying to take his order. After a while, he snaps out of it and purchases a ring from a dispenser and proposes to Tara. He puts the ring on her and walks off to the restroom in the back, but is quickly kicked out by the owner after seeing Art doing something nasty in the bathroom. After the bizarre series of events, the girls figure it's time to leave and head back to the car, only to find that the tire has been slashed. Not being able to drive, Tara phones her sister Victoria and asks for a lift. She agrees and heads her way. Meanwhile, the pizza cook Ramon finishes cleaning the nasty, bloody looking poo that Art left in the restroom and returns out to the lobby to find the owner's head sitting on the counter, with Art popping up behind. Ramon goes to call the cops, but Art cuts his fingers off, then gives him a good old stabby stab to the cheek, and finishes him off with a ton of brutal stabs to the eyes and face. Ouchie, that does not look healthy. While the girls wait in the car for Victoria, Tara tells Dawn that she needs to tinkle. Luckily enough, they see an exterminator named Mike walk outside for a smoke break. Tara pleads to pee, and he lets her in the rat-infested abandoned warehouse to do so. While waiting for Tara to finish peeing, Dawn hears a breaking news alert on the radio, talking about the murders at the pizzeria. Police are on the lookout for a man dressed in a black and white clown suit. She quickly connects the dots, but it's too late. She's got a clown in the front seat. Inside, Tara finishes using the restroom and explores the abandoned warehouse when she runs into a crazy cat lady. Yes, that's her actual listed name in the credits. Cat lady spooks her with a doll that she calls her baby.
This is my daughter Emily. Say hello to the pretty young lady.
Not having any of that, she walks away and tries to leave, only to run into none other than Art, who's all bloodied up. A chase scene ensues, with Tara ducking behind cars while Art's oversized clown shoes stomp around. She has a close call when Art catches her from behind, stabbing her in the leg and nearly gouging her eyes out. Fortunately, Tara manages to stab him in the shoulder, buying herself enough time to run toward the exit, only to find that all the doors are locked. She limps upstairs and calls out for help, but the exterminator Mike is too busy jamming out to his music to hear her. Just as Tara thinks that she might be safe, Art sneaks up behind her and injects her with an unknown substance, making her go sleepy time. She awakes tied to a chair in typical horror fashion. After playing "Why you flinchin', why you flinchin'," he reveals a much bigger show for her, dropping a curtain with a naked Dawn hanging upside down. I'm just gonna say, there's going to be a lot of censoring here. Thanks, YouTube. Anyway, Art grabs a hacksaw and begins sawing her body in half, top to bottom, or bottom to top in this case. It's pretty gruesome, and this is what the Terrifier franchise is kind of known for. While Art mutilates Dawn, Tara manages to free herself and hit Art in the face with a piece of the chair and run off. Art chases her, and while looking for her, Tara sneaks up from behind and hits him in the head with a 2x4. She manages to put the beat down on him, knocking him to the ground. She's like, get back up, mother hacker." What? Why? Just hit him while he's down or get out of there. Anyway, Art listens and gets back up, shooting her immediately with an M1911. Only hitting her in the leg, he goes to finish the job, shooting her in the tum-tum, the cheek, and the head. Oh, hang on, 1 second. A selfie with Dawn later, he comes back and finishes Tara off with a shot to the head. Like a lot of headshots. Cat Lady walks in on the show and runs off to get help from Mike, but he's not convinced, dismissing her as crazy, and runs off to call his coworker Steve for help. But before he can even say anything, Art sneaks up from behind and whacks him in the head with a hammer. Cat Lady returns to her living space to find that her baby is gone. She goes on a rescue mission, wandering down a creepy hallway when she finds Art cradling the doll. Desperate to get her baby back, she offers Art a mother's touch as a way of comfort, and this actually seems to work. Art starts sucking his thumb as she caresses his head. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Meanwhile, Victoria finally arrives at the spooky warehouse. She gives Tara a call when she hears the ringtone echo nearby. Following the sound, it leads her to Dawn's body, gruesomely sliced into two. She obviously freaks out and does the smart thing by running, but her attention is quickly diverted by what she thinks is Tara yelling. She heads down a dark staircase, where she finds the Cat Lady scalped and mutilated, with her breasts severed. Just saying that makes me feel icky. Cat Lady dies and Art emerges, wearing the Cat Lady's biddies. Vic runs off and hides in a closet as Art makes his way to her, but not without giving us a show. As he tries forcing the closet door open, Mike's coworker, Will, shows up to help, getting the attention of Art. Will is pretty short-lived, however, as Art sneaks up from behind and stabs him in the dome, then proceeds to decapitate him, holding it up as a trophy after. Aw, little head trophy Art. Bored of decapitation shenanigans, Art rides around in his tricycle. Meanwhile, Vic leaves the closet and attempts to escape the building. Despite watching her back, Art manages to sneak up on her and suffocate her with a plastic bag, but she pokes a hole through, escaping and stabbing him in the foot, then running off again. Not cool, man, not cool. She runs into Tara's dead body, all propped up in a chair and decorated. Quite Michael Myers-esque. Vic, distraught by the sight, gets sliced and diced by Art. Luckily for Vic, Mike shows up and knocks the clown out. He takes Vic to a room and calls the cops, which seems to last forever. After giving the address to the building, he hangs up and attempts to take Vic to his truck to get the freak out of there. Lo and behold, they run into another locked door, and while Mike tries finding a way out, Art comes out of nowhere and knocks Mike out, then smushing his cranium in with a brute force boot. He catches Vic, but she stabs him yet again, and she finally escapes the building, but only to run back inside? Art gets in a truck, however, and rams through the doors. With Vic on the floor incapacitated, Art begins eating her face. The cops finally show up and draw guns on Art, demanding he surrender. However, he does their job for them and puts the gun in his mouth and shoots himself. After radioing in for medics, the cops discover that Vic is still alive. The rest of the victims that died, however, are brought into a medical examiner, and when he goes to inspect Art's body bag, the lights start flickering and the phone starts ringing? I guess Art is supernatural or something? First time we're seeing it here. Once it stops, the medical examiner turns around only to have Art grab him by the throat, all bloodied up and stuff, then killing him. 1 year later, we find out that Victoria is the woman from the interview at the beginning of the film, who killed the reporter after the show. We get a beautiful close-up of her spooky face, and the movie ends. What'd you think of Terrifier? Like it? Hate it? Let me know down below. Next week, we will be covering the sequel Terrifier 2, which had a much bigger budget. It cranks up the brutality, which didn't know that was possible, but also gives us a bit more story to chew on compared to the first. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of your beautiful faces in the next one.